So hello everyone and welcome to episode 59 of our Aston Martin Save. Now, if you didn't watch last week's episodes, go back and watch them. We had some cracking Grand Prix and none more so than Thursday's episode, which was the French Grand Prix, where we had another Aston Martin 1-2, Fernando Alonso winning that race, Pierre Gasly coming second, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, the two Ferraris, following us home in third and fourth. It was another dramatic last lap for Pierre Gasly, who managed to cement P2 at his home race. So what does this all mean for the standings? Well, for the first time ever, we are top of the constructors' standings. We are 6 points clear of Red Bull. They had a very poor race in France. We gained 45 points at the French Grand Prix. 5 wins and 8 podiums so far this season, and it's 7 wins and 10 podiums for Red Bull. Ferrari not too far back either. We've got a three-way fight for the constructors' title. Drivers standing wise, Max Verstappen looked like he got it in the bag after the first 5 races. It didn't seem anyone could catch him. Pierre Gasly is closing, 3 wins and 8 podiums now. He's not too far behind, about 45 points behind. Pierre Gasly could still catch Max Verstappen, and Fernando Alonso is coming like a train at the moment. He's overtaken George Russell and he's now hunting down the 2 Ferrari drivers. But today's episode, it is the Hungarian Grand Prix, notoriously difficult to overtake round here. 70 laps. Lewis Hamilton holds the lap record of a 1:16.6. Expected strategy is a 1-stop from medium onto hard. A 2-stop is applicable as well. But there's a very difficult race in store for us here. Very difficult to overtake. Car attributes, acceleration, not our best. But low speed and medium speed cornering, we are pretty okay at that. I think this is going to be a much tougher Grand Prix for us. But I'm going to get the practice done and I'll see you in qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
The Hungaroring is abuzz with excitement as Formula One returns to Hungary for another round. We first came here in 1986 after construction on this purpose-built motorsport facility was completed. The Hungaroring is one challenging succession of corners and turns. With few straights, it's affectionately known as the go-kart circuit. Drivers will have to find a proper rhythm to make the most of the layout. And for cars, low-speed downforce will be paramount. We're about halfway through the season now, and there's still plenty of time for everything to change. All eyes are on the teams and how they tackle the rest of the year. What will happen this weekend? Only time will tell.
Here we are then, final few corners in Q3. We've looked supremely quick all weekend. Fernando Alonso currently sat in P3. He was purple through the first sector, he's yellow through the middle sector. Is Fernando Alonso going to improve enough to topple Sergio Perez at the top of the leaderboard? He crosses the line, he doesn't improve. It's all on Pierre Gasly, who is on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. It doesn't look like he's going to improve enough. He isn't. It's going to be Sergio Perez on pole for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly is going to start second. Fernando Alonso will be starting in P3. It's a little bit disappointing, especially Gasly's last lap on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. I expected a little bit more from him, but second and third, we can't grumble at that. Let's have a look at the strategies now. Where's Max Verstappen? All the way down in P8. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to split the strategies. Now, Pierre's got a fresh set of soft compound tyres to use. I'm going to use them now. Apparently, the 2-stop is 7 seconds quicker. I'm guessing that we can make this work, but it is a very difficult place to overtake, as we've said here. That's my only concern, but I'm going to rely on Pierre's racecraft to get us through this. We're going to start on the soft compound tyre, then go on to the hard, then finish on the mediums. We should be like lightning at the end. Fernando Alonso, it's a bit more standard. It's medium onto hard. We may swap that round. We might go on to mediums before the hards. We're going to assess that during the race, push early, try and break the DRS, and then go from there. So hopefully second and third, it could be another 1-2 here for Aston Martin. Let's get to 5 red lights.
This is it, the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we're looking at Pierre Gasly, who is on. He should be on deploy mode. So Pierre Gasly straight away looking to attack Sergio Perez. Fernando Alonso's got a better run though off the start, and it's going to be Sergio Perez who does lead us away into the first corner. But straight away Pierre Gasly, we're going to ride on board with him. He's deploying the ERS. He's trying to get down the inside of Sergio Perez on this faster compound tyre. He's got to make hay while the sun is shining here. And Pierre Gasly has got the overtake done on Sergio Perez. And now it's whether Fernando Alonso can also follow him through. He's going to be using deploy now. Pierre Gasly, get past him as quickly as we possibly can and just bolt into the sunshine. We want to break that second if we possibly can with Pierre Gasly. That's the ideal for us. Use these soft compound tyres, break away, and then we may have a bit more control over the strategy. Fernando Alonso is going to be battling with Sergio Perez for a little bit longer than that, it must be said. He's on the medium compound tyre. He'll be more evenly matched with Sergio Perez, but Pierre Gasly straight away up to 0.8 of a second by the end of lap 1. He may even break a second by the time he gets to the start-finish line. We're going to keep on with this little battle between Fernando Alonso and Sergio Perez, because this is the opportunity for Fernando Alonso. We're actually going to use a different camera angle. Check us out. We're going to use a different camera angle here as Fernando Alonso is looking to get past Sergio Perez. He's trying to sling one down the outside. He can't quite get it done there. Will he get it done in this before this next corner? Fernando Alonso, will he chuck one down the inside? It doesn't look like he's quite going to do. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put that onto neutral. Pierre Gasly is already bolting. We're going to let that happen now. We'll let this play out. Pierre Gasly can push away now. And we'll have a rundown of the top 10. So it is Pierre Gasly is your race leader at this moment in time. Then comes Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso, Lando Norris in the McLaren. Take a bow, son, on the soft compounded tyre, doing very, very well in P4. Carlos Sainz P5. Then come the two Mercedes in P6 and P7. They're running split strategies as well. Charles Leclerc in P8, Ocon P9, Max Verstappen. Not the best start from Max Verstappen. He's down in P10, but Pierre Gasly leads the Hungarian Grand Prix with 2.2 seconds to Perez in second. You join us back, lap 7. Pierre Gasly now 3 seconds the gap to Sergio Perez in P2. Alonso, he did get past Sergio Perez. He did manage to get past him. We tried to make a break for it, but we couldn't quite do it. And to be fair, we are struggling to keep up with Pierre Gasly at this moment in time, and we're certainly struggling to keep in the DRS of Sergio Perez. Lando Norris is in P4. Russell and Bottas a little bit further back with the two Mercedes. Sainz and Leclerc, Verstappen only in P9 at this moment in time. But as you can see, Fernando Alonso just can't seem to keep up with Sergio Perez. This is a little bit worrying for the Spaniard at this moment in time. And now Lando Norris is going to attack Fernando Alonso. We're going to ride on board with Lando Norris. So he's on the soft compounded tyre. Let's see if he makes a move into this turn one. He doesn't. He looks like he tries to get the cut back on Fernando. Is he going to go for it again here, Lando Norris? Lando Norris really, really impressive in this last couple of races, but Fernando seems to have the measure of him. We're going to have to push a little bit to catch back up with Sergio Perez and just get back in that DRS and protect ourselves from Lando Norris behind. We have got a spin on track. Let's have a little look and see who this is. Are we going to get the replay? I'm sure we're going to do. Here we go. Danny Ricciardo spinning. Let's have a quick look at this one. Lando Norris obviously doing really well at this moment in time. Danny Ricciardo, mistake there. He will be very, very frustrated with that indeed. So lap 8, Gasly's still in a good position. Alonso, work to do. Lap 17, some of the soft runners are in. Bottas is in. Norris is in. We're going to have a little look a bit further down. We need 20 seconds. At this moment, I think there's a nice gap around P10, P11, where we could get Pierre Gasly out. So Pierre is in this lap. He boxed in this lap. Perez has took a second out of him over the last few laps. It's down to 1.7 seconds now for Sergio Perez. We're going to have to use these tyres and try and get through the pack as quickly as we possibly can. Make the most of them, and then hopefully this 7-second advantage, as was seen on the strategy screen, will come to fruition. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso has not got the pace of the cars in front of him. He can't keep up with Sergio Perez. The gap to Sergio Perez now is 4 seconds for Fernando Alonso. The Williams, it must be said, are having a shocking afternoon. They can't stop spinning out, honestly. It's like they've put them on roller skates this afternoon. Not quite working at all. Where is Pierre Gasly? We'll just speed this along a little bit and get him to the pit lane, because then the vital moment is, where does he come out? I'm expecting him to come out around P9, P10. Get him in a little bit of clear air. That would be absolutely ideal for Pierre. And then the medium runners will start coming in a little while. It's a decent pit stop, 2.5 seconds now. Where is Pierre Gasly going to come out? We can see Lewis Hamilton coming down the start-finish straight. It's this little gaggle of cars that Pierre Gasly's got to get out in front of to really help his race. He's out in front of those. In fact, he's out comfortably in front of those. And he's got Lewis Hamilton to chase after now on the fresh, hard, compounded tyre. He's also got a bit of fuel to use. We're going to use that. Fernando Alonso now goes into P2. Sergio Perez takes over the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And on lap 20, Pierre Gasly making light work of Lewis Hamilton. Got the DRS on the fresh tyres. And he was round the Audi. That Audi still looked fantastic, by the way. Round the Audi, no problem at all. And if we have a little look now, he's got the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:20.4 for Pierre Gasly. If we have a look at the last lap of Sergio Perez's, 1:21.1. He took about 6 or 7 tenths of a second out of Sergio Perez on that last lap. He's up to P8. And the gap to Esteban Ocon at 1.3 seconds. Going to be in the DRS range very, very shortly. Lap 20. Is this going to be another Pierre Gasly masterclass this afternoon? He's caught up to Esteban Ocon. He's dispatched Esteban Ocon, his teammate in real life now. As I'm recording this, we've just had qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen's car blowing up on him in qualifying, so it's all to play for in real life this weekend. It's very much all to play for at the Hungaroring here. And Pierre Gasly is still very much in the fight for this win. Sergio Perez, I don't think it's going to be too comfortable at this moment in time. If we have a look at the last lap again, 1:20.8, 1:21. Bearing in mind, we've got fresh medium tyres to go on towards the end of this Grand Prix. We are going to be absolute grease lightning at the end of this Grand Prix. I don't know how you say that in French. I might Google that between the next highlights. Lap 22. And while Pierre Gasly's having a fantastic afternoon, Fernando Alonso has just made an error into turn 1, and that has cost him a lot of time. He didn't get back on the track as quickly as he possibly could have done, and that has put him down to P3. Fernando Alonso, not ideal at all, as Russell overtook him during that mistake. Meanwhile though, Max Verstappen has just lost a position to Pierre Gasly, who's fighting with Charles Leclerc now. So Pierre Gasly really working his way through this pack, and I think we've got Charles Leclerc up next. These guys all on medium compounded tyre. I'm expecting these guys to be pitting in the next few laps. When's Fernando's pit stop? Two laps to his pit window. I expect Pierre Gasly to make light work of these cars very, very shortly. Lap 25, it's looking good for Pierre, not so much for Fernando. To be fair to Pierre, he's just got Charles Leclerc as well as Max Verstappen. It's just brilliant drive. I mean, I'm sat here watching it, and it's just a fantastic drive. If we go back to the live shots now, when we look at the interval, he's already pulled out 7 tenths of a second, and he's closing down on Carlos Sainz and his teammate Fernando Alonso at a rate of knots. He's already nearly made up that pit stop to these guys. He's obviously then got Sergio Perez. That's the main battle. It's going to come. I think this could be another grandstand finish, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon. If Pierre keeps it on the track and keeps driving as he is doing, we're going to be on the medium compound towards the end. The much fresher compound and the much faster one at that. He's going to have to do some overtaking, but he's making light work of these cars at this moment in time, and it's not going to be long before he's on the back of Sainz and Alonso. Lap 26, we'll have a rundown. It's Perez from Russell, Alonso, Sainz, Gasly already made his pit stop, Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris again, another man who's made his pit stop. He's on the same strategy as Pierre Gasly this afternoon. Bottas in P9, Danny Ricciardo, he's had a spin, but he's still in P10. Lap 27 as Fernando Alonso has entered his pit window. We're watching an absolute battle here. We've got Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly. Perez is in, so that's quite an interesting one now. Fernando Alonso's coming in this lap. So Fernando Alonso's boxing this lap, same as Perez, and it looks like Pierre Gasly, I don't know quite what's happened with Carlos Sainz there. He seems to have just pulled out of that. Fernando's in, Gasly carries on. He's going to get DRS, I believe, now as well. Is Pierre going to get DRS down this straight? Let's have a quick look. Does the rear wing open? It doesn't, so we're not going to get that right. Fernando Alonso, let's have a look where he comes out. Sergio Perez is tumbling down, and he's now got two bike marks. Well, he's got Verstappen and Charles Leclerc to deal with. Fernando Alonso, decent pit stop, 2.5 seconds, does manage to stay in front of Carlos Sainz on the hard compounded tyre now. So he's going to come out. He's into a nice little gap as well, so he's not got too much traffic. Alonso P8, he's made all his pit stops. Pierre Gasly 3 seconds off George Russell now, but I believe Russell, Leclerc and Verstappen all yet to pit. If we have a look at gap to leader, Sergio Perez, it's about 5 seconds the gap to Perez, and we've got another pit stop to make, so it's going to be a real battle towards the end for Pierre Gasly here. For as it stands, Pierre Gasly will take net P1. Lap 30.
Now,
George Russell locking up now. This is an interesting one for Fernando Alonso. He's locked up there, George Russell. Not managed to get back on the circuit very well, and that has promoted Fernando Alonso. They're obviously very upset in the Mercedes garage, as you would expect. But now Fernando Alonso is up to P5. Norris has got to pit again. And he's got Bottas, so there's still a podium chance for Fernando Alonso this afternoon if he plays this cleverly and sits behind Norris, charges up his battery and his ERS, he's got fuel to burn. Meanwhile at the front we are managing the gap to Sergio Perez, trying not to allow him in to our DRS because Pierre Gasly is going to have a mammoth task towards the end of this Grand Prix, and Pierre Gasly has absolutely shanked it. We have got a safety car. Safety car is out. We'll have a replay of this. Just bear with me. So we're going to get the replay of Pierre Gasly in such a strong position. We've not had one of these for a while. He's locked up. He's smashed his wing off. It's quite a hit. Where Pierre is okay. We can see the debris going over the track there. That's going to bring Fernando back into play. And I've got to say, it's the first time for a couple of weeks we've had a real bad incident. But Pierre Gasly is out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And that is a big, big blow for us. We had a little look to see if we could get Fernando in. Whether that would help us. But at this moment in time, it wouldn't. It's going to close him back up. Norris has still got to make a pit stop. I'd be amazed if he doesn't make a pit stop. But Fernando Alonso now has got to try and stick with Sergio Perez. Our only hope in this race is Fernando Alonso, but that is such a sickener for Pierre, especially with the way we're going. We really, really thought that we were going to be able to win this Grand Prix. We're going to be tight, but Pierre's out. That's going to have a massive bearing on the championship as well. It's going to come down to Alonso, Bottas and Perez. We'll come back when we're back to green flag running.
No DRS.
Safety car is ending. It's all about when Sergio Perez decides to put his foot down. We've got overtake and push on the fuel. I'm hoping we can get Lando Norris off the start, and it's a cracking start to be fair from Fernando Alonso. But in the second phase, Lando Norris does manage to keep us at bay. But he's going for a lunge. Fernando Alonso down the inside of Lando Norris. He's using all the ERS, trying to get past him. Lando is going to be the slower car out of this front four early doors on this restart because his tyres are more warm. Remember, he was on the two-stop, he was on the same strategy as Pierre Gasly, and Fernando Alonso, the man that he is, has got past Lando Norris. Beautiful work. We'll switch that back to neutral now. But Fernando Alonso, take a bow. That was a very, very important overtake for Fernando. Now it's Bottas and Perez. We'll have a little look at this again because I thought it were a great move, to be fair. He's on the outside, then that turns into the inside for the next corner. And then it's a drag race up the hill and he manages to get it done. Now he's got a Mercedes and a Red Bull to beat. We could do with something happening to Sergio Perez. This is not good for the constructors' standings at this moment, especially with Max Verstappen down in P6. But Fernando Alonso has got a chance and he's got plenty of fuel to burn as well. It's all about when we can now overtake Valtteri Bottas, but we've got to stay within DRS of Sergio Perez. That is absolutely paramount. Lap 42. Fantastic work from Fernando. He's got past Valtteri Bottas, and now, just before the DRS is re-enabled, he's got to chase after Sergio Perez. We've told him to use the battery, do his absolute utmost to catch up with Sergio Perez. DRS is enabled. He's got about half a lap, or a lap to do it. He needs to catch up to Sergio Perez. He's put a nice distance between himself and Valtteri Bottas. We're pushing on the fuel, we're pushing on the ERS. Can Fernando Alonso get back in DRS range, and that opens up a race win? That could open up a race win. We know how fast Sergio Perez has been. Let's have a look by the end of this lap. He's got it at this moment in time. Lap 44, Fernando is on the charge. And lap 45, new fastest lap, 1 minute 18.7 for Fernando Alonso. And he's got the DRS, and now we can manage this effectively. We can look at different options, trying to stay with Sergio Perez. We know it's a very difficult circuit, but it does look like a two-horse race for this win. It's Alonso versus Perez at the Hungaroring, and I'm very much here for it. Bottas is in third, Sainz fourth, Norris still in fifth, but he's still got a pit stop to make. Verstappen's in sixth, Leclerc seventh, Russell eighth, Ocon ninth, and Lewis Hamilton in the Audi is in P10. But it's all about this man. It's all about Fernando Alonso if he can beat Sergio Perez in Hungary this afternoon. Lap 45. Lap 51, and finally Fernando's managed to get past him. Now our tyres are not in as good as nick as Sergio Perez's. We're on 71%, he's on 74%. He does manage to get this move done as we go up the hill and cut across Sergio Perez. So we're now just telling him, just harvest the ERS a little bit. We're celebrating in that side of the garage. There's nothing more for these guys to do at this moment in time. What we're doing, just harvesting a little bit of ERS. We're going to try. I think we can defend this. I really do. I think we can defend this. It's going to be very important for Fernando to manage this ERS, because towards the end, we're going to need it to defend. I think Perez is quicker than us this weekend. It's going to have to be one on strategy and tactics from Fernando, but he knows that, the wily old fox, and I'm sure we can hold on to this, but it's going to be a battle right to the end without a mistake. Unfortunately, Fernando has already made his mistake, I believe. So lap 51, it's Alonso and Perez all the way to the end.
Now here we see
lap 58, we've had a spin, and it's Max Verstappen who's spun out, as you can see. That's helpful for Pierre, obviously, with his issues this afternoon, but Max Verstappen does remain in P6. Fernando Alonso and Perez are just exchanging places at the front, but at the moment, it is Fernando Alonso who has got the edge at this moment in time. If you have a look at the tyres, it's 62, there's 4% in it. Towards the end, that could be absolutely crucial, but at this moment in time, we've got the fuel, we've got the ERS charged up as well, so towards the end, we may just have enough. For lap 56, Verstappen, that's a real sickener that he's managed to get back on track so well there. We might tell Fernando just to start looking after these tyres a little bit, just to preserve them a little bit towards the end. But lap 56, all towards the end. Lap 66, George Russell. Oh dear, oh dear. Just bins it into the wall. It's not a massive collision by any stretch of the imagination, but it does damage his wing. As you can see, Alonso, 5 more laps to go, still hanging on to the back of Sergio Perez. Our tyres are in nowhere near as good a condition as Sergio Perez's. I'm hoping we're going to win this on ERS alone towards the end of the last couple of laps. We may make a push for it early. I'm still assessing when we're going to do that, but Fernando Alonso is very much in the hunt for this. George Russell, that's a sickener, and what he also has done that is promote Max Verstappen to P5. Lando Norris and Danny Ricciardo, P7 and 8, they've got to be very happy this afternoon. We are there going on. Kevin Magnussen now in the points for the Haas. Esteban Ocon down in P10 in the final points paying position. But it's all eyes on this battle at the front, lap 66. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Final lap here at the Hungaroring. It's Perez versus Alonso. We saw it in Spain. Oh, we're going to see Fernando Alonso get past Sergio Perez. He's going for it early, he's going for the move into turn 1. Fernando Alonso down the inside, using all the ERS that we've got charged up. We're pushing on the fuel, and he's got DRS down this straight as well. Right, Fernando Alonso is now in prime position to win here in Hungary. All the ERS that we've saved up, we're not going to watch the replay, we saw it live. Can Fernando Alonso hold on? 7/10 of a second, he is in front of Sergio Perez. All the battery in the world, and I've got to say, I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than this. Pierre Gasly will be sat in the paddock after his early crash, wondering why on earth he's not on the top podium step. But it looks like, as long as Fernando makes no errors here, it's going to be Fernando Alonso that takes it. And I mean, just to show you what he's done here, he's got 5% less tyres. He's been stuck behind Perez for a lot of this race, just hanging on in there, managing the tyres, managing the battery usage. But Fernando Alonso, what can we say about him? Pierre Gasly looks like the title challenger this year, but Fernando Alonso, as he comes on the final corner, will win the Hungarian Grand Prix. What a day for Fernando Alonso. Not quite what day we wanted for Aston Martin with Pierre crashing out, but Fernando, don't be happy for us guys, be happy for yourself. 1 minute 17, new fastest lap for Fernando Alonso, and it's another win for the Spaniard. Are we going to be seeing more of this in real life? We certainly may be, but Fernando Alonso wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
What a flawless weekend here from Fernando Alonso. His team must be proud. What a beautiful sight that is on the podium, and a true crowning achievement for everyone involved. And the talented veteran rounds off another great drive, adding to his impressive F1 podium tally.
So what a performance that was from Fernando Alonso, gaining 2 positions, fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well, a 1:17.6 on much worn hard tyres. Sergio Perez coming in second, Charles Leclerc up 6 positions in to P3, Max Verstappen getting P4 at the end. Drivers standings wise, Verstappen does gain on Pierre Gasly. The gap is now up to around 57 points. Quick maths there. Fernando Alonso just keeps chugging away. He's now very much on the back of Charles Leclerc in P5. Constructors standing wise, we do manage to maintain P1 in the Constructors by a single point. Red Bull in P2, and Ferrari, to be fair to them, are really starting to do well as well. Haven't won a race yet this season, but have been consistent with the podiums. I hope you've enjoyed that. Not the race we wanted for Pierre Gasly. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Ta-ra!